Hello, welcome back to Strive's Talking Points. Today I want to cover a real quick thing about a game. Never really covered a game before, but I just want to talk about it for a moment. Now, Amazon has a new MMO coming out called the New World. It is a sandbox MMO. Most people out there have played some type of game like this. I've played Warcraft. I've played the Star Wars game. I've played just a handful of MMOs. I kind of like them. It's fun to go in and play with other people and kind of get involved and find the groups and stuff like that. Now, on Digital Trends, you can find the standard, strict review of an MMO. You have Amazon's New World. Here are things that are going on. Here are the game direction. I'm just kind of sliding through. The back end is the glue that holds the experience together, none of which would be possible without the work our team did to leverage Amazon's cloud. Positive things they're just talking about with New World aims to have huge map with hundreds, perhaps over 1,000 players populating it at once. Now, most MMOs have a handful of people on each area, maybe 100 or 200 an instance, and they flip them to the next instance. It's just how they deal with population. That way you're not waiting 20 minutes to go click on the button that 40 other people are clicking on, and it takes forever, and just it's not very fun not to wait around. You want to play the game to do stuff. So it's a sandbox MMO, PvP. You're going to get killed. Spine of the game would probably the spine of the game is player versus player combat. You will probably be murdered in New World. Okay, it's fairly interesting. Seems like a normal game. Depending on how much it costs, I might play it at launch. A lot of times I'll wait a couple of weeks. I like to see a review or two pop out before I get involved in any kind of games. Normal interview from Digital Trends. Nothing crazy, just a game. Coming out, here's the basics. You see the people dressed up. You got I'm assuming a gun that's like conquistador armor, got an axe, you got a rifle, he's got a sword. Man, I'm assuming. Woman, maybe. That's a guy again, black guy, and that's another woman. So, 2 men, 2 women, 1 black, 3 white. Anyway, just a game. People can make their own stuff. Now I want to click over to Polygon. I have started reading Polygon mostly as comedy. Amazon's questionable MMO has you colonize the New World. Amazon's New World looks great, but dodges controversial issues. Here's a man in a colonial musket firing, or colonial outfit. This is probably U.S. Civil War era. Not Civil War, Revolutionary era. He's got the little powder pack. He's got his rifle. He's got gloves. He's shooting a zombie. Now, I don't know that I would fire a musket at a zombie. I mean, 3 minutes for reload. I would probably have the axe or the sword, I guess, if I was going to go up against a zombie. But hey, that's just me. I kind of think ahead, that you got one shot. It takes, I think it was from movies I've seen in the past and from stuff I've seen online, a really good guy can fire 3 aim shots in a minute. If I'm remembering the terminology correct, it's about 20 seconds to load. Anyway, completely beside the point, but that's how I think about it when I see that. It's team-based PvP survival game with elements of exploration, resource exploitation, and expansionism. I become part of a guild that creates our own culture, which can range from murderous warmongering to utopian idealism. But New World is also sanitized reenactment of the European colonization of the Americas and elsewhere. It's manifestation of great white fantasy of virgin territory and new beginnings. The game trends unwarily into a heart of darkness like country of racist imperialists. Oh my God. This writer doing this story is amazing. Colin Campbell. This guy just took you completely out of the idea of playing a game into historical imperialist racism. A white fantasy. So I ask you, Colin Campbell, what if we flip this and we go Wakanda on this? We make all of our characters black and then we use them to go into the New World and take over? Would then it no longer be the great white fantasy of virgin territory and new beginnings? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if we discover a new territory on Earth and it's populated by flesh-eating zombies and we destroy them all and then take over that area, I don't have a problem with that as a person. I think that would be the best thing to do, honestly. Or, you could play the game and you could be black guys. Like I said, you could go Wakanda on it. You could just form a whole guild. Everybody has to be black and you have to go through like that. But, that's up to you. Honestly, when you play these kind of games, you can do what you want. The whole idea is it's escape from reality. Here's the setup. I'm a settler who's landed on the pristine shores of a new world. I own nothing, so I scavenge and craft. I team up with others and build a settlement. I specialize in warfare, or building, or farming, or manufacturing with my people. I defend our settlement from rivals. Perhaps I wage war, killing them to take their homes and their resources. I don't know that this guy understands that we currently live in the most settled time in human history. All throughout human history, defending yourself from other people trying to take your things was the whole point of why we form towns, why we form communities, why we have governments, why nations exist. Because other people wanted your stuff. And if you have 100 people who want your stuff, and they send 10 people to take your stuff, it's best if you have at least 10 or 20 people to resist them so that you can kind of match off. That's reality. Lush Meadows. The game is set in a fictional landmass in the Atlantic, located near Bermuda. The time frame is mid-1600s, which is the same period as the first American settlements by English colonists in North America. So if you pick a game and you put it in a historical period, Colin is going to be upset with you because bad things happened then. And if you use technology from that period, that's bad. I'm perfectly okay with this. The only thing that bothers me about games like this is if you've ever played a game where you're required to use a musket and you take that one shot, it's so boring to reload. Fire. We're going to sit here and just count to 30 or 20 in your head, because 3 shots, 20 seconds in between each shot, if you're good. And no, that would not be, that's boring. You would have to have a sword or maybe 3 pistols, and I don't know, just, whew. The geography feels like an imagined pre-colonized British America with woodlands, lush meadows, swamps, and mountain ranges. The world includes ancient artifacts from a lost civilization. Supernatural strangeness abounds. Players can use magic. Oh, look, it's not grounded in reality. For healing and such, as well as technologies like gunpowder, powder, and flintlock rifles. There are no indigenous peoples, according to a developer of Amazon Game Studios. It's not really about invasion or America. Okay, so I'm assuming he actually asked that question. This guy. Why wouldn't he? Because, yeah, that seems like his whole idea is to dump everything he can into this game being evil. The game's lore says there are former settlers who have been corrupted by the island. But I'm struck by how closely the semi-humans cleave to the extremative view that most 17th century colonists held of the people they found in newly discovered lands. God, makes me happy. I mean, this really is. How can you not read this and just laugh at this guy? So, former settlers. So these are the infected zombies who have been corrupted by the island. But I'm struck with how closely these semi-humans cleave to the extremative view that most 17th century colonists held of people they found in newly discovered lands. Okay, so, don't know if you know this, When the Europeans came to America, Indians weren't just everywhere. There were a few tribes. It wasn't like they came to what we call New York State and there were hundreds of thousands of Indians there, millions of them. There weren't. There were a handful of tribes. Most of these tribes were nomadic, and the Europeans bought the land from the Indians. The Indians had no concept of land ownership. That's the difference between a Stone Age civilization and the people who existed in Europe at the time. They had governments, they had towns. Some of them even knew about, sewers, and they were very different realities. Over time, the Native Americans learned more, but pretty much once we started moving west, that was kind of old world pathogens. Oh my goodness. European settlers generally believed the newly discovered lands were forfeit because indigenous peoples did not display Eurasian-style ownership and development. What does that have to do with this game? All this is just a thing. Colonists are bad. If Colin was born in America, he's saying he doesn't deserve to live or have ever existed. These indigenous peoples were, not about the game. During an interview with studio head Patrick Gilmore, I put a version of this notion to him. He looked genuinely shocked. So you're telling me that you, Colin, made up the dumbest take on a video game, said it to the developer, and he's like, that's not really been a focus at all. He probably wondered why on earth did Polygon hire you and have you talk about a game. You only want to go in and be an activist for why Europeans should have never come to America, why you yourself should have never been born. That's it. None of that matters anymore. The lore of the game is that there's a tainted aspect to this world. That's it. A Garden of Eden that's fallen from grace. You could argue this is precisely how 17th century Europeans viewed the New World. No. The New World was not easy. People that came here died very young. They worked extremely hard to carve out towns and lives and settlements. It's not a Garden of Eden. It wasn't just everything was great here. It's nothing like it is now. No roads, no medicine, no developed anything. If you formed a town like Jamestown, you could all die. Just disappear. That's not what it is. This game is undoubtedly a violent expression of 17th century Atlantic colonization. No, it's not. It's impossible to be that because no one here today was alive in the 1600s. I don't know of anyone that's 300 years old. It's still made and will be played by the heirs to that colonization. Oh, this guy's awesome. Exploitative Amazon. Oh, it's so hard. New World is an addition to a lifetime of really liking stories of how the West was won and how colonists from my own country, Britain, marshaled and defended a global empire through capital force and exploitation. When Amazon talks about a gaming sandbox, what it really means, I suspect, is it's a platform for discovering new ways to have fun, to build, cooperate, invade, and organize. What? When Amazon talks about sandbox gaming, what it really means, I suspect, is that it's a platform for discovering new ways to have fun, to build and cooperate and invade and organize. Guys, if you play a game, you are training on how to invade and organize other fictional lands. Oh, Lord. From playing New World for an hour or so, I can say it does a lot of basic game stuff right. That Gilmore and his team have clearly played a lot of other MMOs focused on things that work. So he played for an hour, and he's like, yeah, it's okay. If you've ever played an MMO and you meet someone that played for an hour, no, they don't know anything about the game. Anyway, I would like to say thank you to this guy, Colin Campbell. I hope I'm saying his first name right, who wrote probably the absolute dumbest review on a game ever, and then played it for an hour and said, yeah, he did a lot of things right. Anyway, thank you for reading, or listening, not reading, going along with me on this. I am really going to probably, if this video does well, I want to go through Polygon and just get into some of these stories, because this is the dumbest, most one-sided story I've ever read. He really needs it to be this way. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the laugh here.